This is my replica Confederate Bowie. One thing I like about this, though, it's actually made out of carbon steel instead of the stainless steel garbage that they, they just don't. I mean, they look pretty, stainless steel, but they're not really what they're made out of originally. Carbon steel is a lot better. It's got the CSA on it. It's just a cheap knockoff copy, but I think it was about $40, and it came with a thick sheath. And what I did was I took a structural rivet. This is an old belt, and I put a stainless steel fender washer in there. You can see that right there. There you see that. See a stainless steel fender washer that's in there, and I just kind of hammered down the structural rivet. Instead of sewing it on there, I could have used a speedy stitcher awl, but it's a pretty good. And I put some epoxy around here, so no moisture gets down in between the handle and where the tang goes. It's a full tang, but it's not a very thick full tang. But with this, D-guard, it's got some extra reinforcement to this tang. I don't think I'd chop wood it. Well, it's probably pretty strong to chop wood too. I don't know. Basically, most of the Bowies they had back then, it was pretty much anything they could grab. There was no standardization on anything. They call it a Bowie knife, and they're making things real fancy today, and for drama and stuff. But basically, the original Bowie knife just looked like a big steak knife or something in your kitchen. And they named it after Bowie, right? Or Bowie, or David Bowie. But the deal is, I really don't like the stainless steel ones that much, even though they look pretty, they're nice and shiny. They don't hold an edge as good unless you're getting real high quality stainless steel. And with these cheap knockoffs, you're not getting no high quality stainless steel. The other thing is, if you ever want to use one of those fire starters, the magnesium, you want to use real steel with that sucker. You don't want to use stainless steel. It doesn't really spark well at all. And to tell you the truth though, having a Bic lighter is probably better than having a fire starter. But if you got one of those fire starters, you're better off just having a regular steel blade. I like some of the ones that are stainless steel, like the cheap knives are like $8. There's a few of them out there by Tac Force. It's the little flip blades. They're okay because if you ever lose them or break them, they're not a lot of money. But I wanted something that had CSA on it. I think this is actually made in India, but it's a pretty hefty blade. I don't think the only part of it I think is weak is right where it's a full tang, but it's like a spike tang. But what I did was I took 3M panel adhesive, part number 3. It's designed for gluing on quarter panels and rocker panels and door skins. Some pretty heavy. It's stronger than JB Weld actually. What I did was I jammed it all up. I chemically cleaned the D-ring to the blade, and any kind of opening that went in between the handle and the spike, I filled it all up with this 3M part number 08115 panel adhesive. It's a lot stronger than even JB Weld. So the only thing I don't think that really gives too much structural integrity to it, but it might actually give it a little more structural integrity. But the main thing that does is, if you get moisture here, you don't want the moisture to go in between the wood handle and the blade, or you don't want moisture getting trapped down deep in here, even if it's humidity, and causing this spike tang to rust out. So that's the main thing I think is really where it's going to make this thing last. And this is not just brass plated. A lot of them are brass plated. This is actually solid brass. That's another thing. And I think I forgot where I got this because it was hard to find, to tell you the truth. It wasn't sold by any big retailers or even any of those stores that sell a lot of Confederate flags and stuff. It was, I don't know where the hell I got it, man. It took a lot of searching. I was looking for something that was actually a little tougher, that can hold up to some freaking kind of abuse, although I don't plan to abuse it much, but I might. It's a heavy piece of freaking iron, I can tell you that right now. And by the way, this 4x6 flag flies pretty damn good. I'm glad I got this thing up here because it's kind of raining out and the wind's kicking up. And if I had that 5x8, I don't know how well that pole would hold up if it gets up to 50-mile-an-hour winds. But, you know, with the 4x6, it's doing quite well. You can see all the rain coming down here a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. So, but anyway, if you look around, you can find stuff. And if it isn't exactly to your liking, like, you know, this had a nice sheath on it. You can see it's pretty heavy. It's leather. But it didn't have a belt loop. Now, the only thing I would add to this, if I was going to wear it, is I would drill a hole right here and right down here, so I can put a lanyard on it, so you can attach to your leg. But it's got a nice wide belt loop. You can fit, you know, a nice wide belt in there, and this isn't going nowhere. It's off a regular belt. It's an old belt. You know, I don't throw nothing away. You can make use of stuff. And doing this with the that special epoxy makes the blade last a little longer. And to tell you the truth, I like it like this, where it's not so super shiny, because it doesn't look so damn fake. And of course, they never had CSA on the blades, but you know, if you're getting something that's supposedly a CSA replica, I'd like to have it on here. I mean, a genuine one won't have that, but you know, hey, what the hell? I do love this flag though. I don't know if it's going to catch on. We never know. It might. You never know.